Hey everybody, welcome to the 26th episode of MAME Politics. How's everybody doing today? Full disclosure, today is going to be a shorter than normal episode, a half an hour at most, and that is because I am joining the Jason Burmis stream where we're going to discuss the debate in real time. So yeah, if you want to watch that, hop over to Jason Burmis's stream right after you're done watching this, and him and I are going to be watching the debate in real time. Should be interesting. So I hope everybody's doing well today. I got one person watching. One. Hi, lone person. How are you? How's my audio feed? I think I'm a little low. I'm going to turn myself up a bit. Just a teensy tiny bit low. Or a little bit on the low side. Hey John, how are you? I'm glad you're the lone person. This is cool. So you're gonna watch me play Ninja Spirit, John. And you're gonna love the shit out of it. I've actually never played this game before. I had seen it pop up on the Pandora's box, but I never really bothered to check it out. But now that I've checked it out, it seems really fucking cool. One of the coolest features I noticed immediately is that you can choose different weapons for yourself, like right out of the gates in the game, which is pretty goddamn cool. Oh, thanks, Tom. Tom says my Rush rant on the new Media Roots radio was awesome. I have a hard time getting really upset and angry and actually being able to be articulate in a rant. So that's something I'm always working on. I tend to get very emotional when thinking about how evil some of these people are. So yeah, I'm always trying to get better at that. But yeah, I'm glad you guys liked the new episode. And for those who don't know, we just put out a new episode of Media Roots Radio. It's about sus as fuck CIA Pete. It's about how the DNC is basically trying to create a failed state in the United States, and they'd rather do that than give over their power to someone like a nominee like Bernie. And also we talked about neocon monster Rush Limbaugh. But I think one thing I've been thinking about today that I wanted to just propose this thought experiment to you guys. You know, we talk a lot about the Pied Piper strategy from the last election, how the Democrats wanted Trump to get the nomination, or you know, they wanted to elevate him and whatever. But I'm thinking right now, think about it this way. If you were a DNC official, like if you were Tom Perez, or even if you were Nancy Pelosi, or you know, some of these high up DNC royalty types, would you rather allow Trump to have a second term and maintain your sort of power or standing in the DNC? Or would you rather hand over the nomination to someone like Bernie Sanders, who will fundamentally redefine the DNC moving forward, and all the squad and the DSA type people, the Democratic Socialists, will all sort of rise up in the ranks and threaten the power of the old guard of the DNC to a very significant degree? So if the DNC had the ability to allow Bernie to get the nomination, or to purposely allow Trump to get a second term if he does get the nomination, I would think that on some level, people at the DNC would probably be like, fuck this, we can't, like, I don't want Bernie to win this. I honestly believe that. So Tom Collector says, nah, they want Trump for sure. I mean, that's kind of where my thinking has been going recently. Is I think that Bernie Sanders is even more of a threat to the Republican Party, or the Democratic Party system, much more so than Trump was to the Republican system. We already witnessed what the GOP tried to do to Trump to try to prevent him from getting the nomination. They didn't succeed, but they were openly talking about doing so, stripping him of the nomination, doing a contested convention. So if Bernie actually wins this, expect things to get crazier. Like if Bernie climbs even more. So it's kind of really disturbing that the Democrats, on some level, probably internally would rather Trump do a second term than have Bernie Sanders winning the nomination. Or winning the presidency. I don't know. I mean, because if he wins the nomination or the presidency, it's going to fundamentally redefine the structure of the DNC. Either way. John, I think the debate is tonight. Because unless Jason got it wrong, which I'd be surprised if he did, I'm going on his stream right after I end this at 5 o'clock. It's going to be a short stream, sorry to say, to watch the debate together with him and comment on it in real time. So I'm just going to play a little bit of this. Hey, White Seed, how's it going? Thanks for becoming a Patreon subscriber of mine, by the way. This is a cool game. I'm going to turn up the sound a little bit. This game is made by Taito. I'm finding that Taito actually makes some of my favorite games that I've never heard of from this era. Dead Connection was one of them that we played on a previous episode, but this one is really fascinating. It feels almost like it's a traditional side-scroller to a certain extent. And there's like strategy that's required like right out of the gates. Like you're not supposed to use, you know, one weapon the whole time. You're supposed to keep switching weapons. So I think I'm supposed to kill this guy underneath me by doing this. Maybe. Let's see if this even works. Okay, yeah. So like all the weapons that they give you right out of the gates in this game all do have different abilities, which is kind of interesting. I don't really know what other game to compare that to. It's not something you see on a typical game. And they're not like power-ups or weapons that like take any energy away or anything like that. This is one of those games where if you just keep running, you avoid all the... Oh, never mind. On some games, actually, I was noticing there was a speed run someone did of Ghouls and Ghosts, because I played that last night for an episode of MAME Politics, and how much they just keep running. They don't even like stop through the level. Like, there's... Oh, man. Hey, Oz Whistles, how's it going? Jesus. So a little run of mine I just had was, I guess, just good luck. This game is hard, like I say about every game. That's what I say about every game because I suck. And what's interesting is actually very recently. Holy shit! I just wanted to say this is that I actually got some attention from some other Twitch video game streamers recently, which was pretty interesting. That apparently they're starting to hear about it now. So like I'll notice on some of my videos that I posted, there'll be people, other streamers from the community who will just like spam their own stuff under mine. But then other streamers who have caught caught one of these episodes or randomly heard about it are like, oh damn, like someone's doing this. That's cool. So I'm excited that we're starting to get a little bit of attention from those people now, finally. And it took long enough, right? I mean, I've been doing this for 3 weeks now. Hey, how's it going? John Gold, was there ever a Blade Runner video game? I don't think that there was for any console systems. You know, there probably was, though, for PC or some kind of home computer system, I would imagine. But, yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. Jesus Christ. I like how high you can jump. It's kind of a cool... Like, the enemies can jump really high, and so can you. Except I just jumped straight into one of these fucking arrows. The PC Blade Runner was scrapped, says Furious Psyop. Interesting. Oh, you can shoot up. Oh, cool. Oh, you can shoot in all directions. Damn, I had no idea. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Oh, this is amazing. What? So it's kind of like almost like it actually feels in a way kind of like Contra. But you have to be a little more strategic with the movements. It's basically like you can spread when you get the ninja star like that. It's pretty cool. Awesome. I keep also the buttons on here are weird. So if you're wondering why I keep selecting the weapon when I'm not actually doing anything with it, it's because I keep thinking that's the shoot button. Oh, this is great. This is sort of like the Ghouls and Ghosts dagger magic mode where you have a clone of yourself behind you. This is definitely one of those games that's like the more power-ups you get, you just can breeze through the game so much easier than just being, you know, the way that you start the game initially. This is cool. I like this. So for those who didn't hear me say this earlier, if you just joined the chat, this is going to be a short episode of MAME Politics. Holy fuck, what? This is going to be a pretty short episode of MAME Politics. It's going to end at 5 o'clock. And then I'm going to be immediately going on to stream with Jason Burmis about the debates, which are going to be happening in real time as we discuss things. And Jason said this on one of his podcasts, and I actually felt kind of bad about it. He said that whenever I come on, he always loses subscribers. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means because I'm left-wing, and he doesn't typically have on left-wing people. But yeah, I mean, if that's the case, I think it's probably good that I still keep going on there to challenge his audience if they are, if they hate me so much. Hey Bayonets, how's it going? When Abby says this is a banana republic, what does she mean, Robbie? It's specifically referring to a form of corporate colonialization that happened in the past. It actually happened to like Hawaii to a certain extent too. It's happened to a lot of especially island nations. And I actually probably can't break down the term exactly, like culturally, exactly what it means. I mean, but the fact that the clothing store named itself after the term Banana Republic is very odd and just kind of disgusting. John Gold. Well, there's a lot of Trump people out there who really are really vocal and act like they're anti-establishment and act like they know that everything's all corrupt, but yet they worship Trump and they worship all these right-wing media outlets that are like funded by billionaires. So yeah, I mean, I would assume most of the people in my chat watching my stuff are left-wing or more in the, progressive direction, even though a lot of people don't like that word. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. South of the Border Smoker. Oh no, Peter H says, "What are your favorite bands?" Um, are you asking me, Peter H? Um, I, I mean, I already talked about one of my favorite bands on this channel, Zoviet France. Um, in terms of actual like bands, if you mean like rock bands, um, I don't know. I would have to think about that. I don't really have that many favorite like bands. Musicians and musical performers and musical groups. I can name a lot of those. Um, so are you asking me about specific bands like guitar, drummer, bassist, vocalist kind of stuff, or do you just want like musical groups or uh, general artists that I'm into? because that would actually be a struggle of mine to think of my favorite band in the traditional sense, because I don't listen to a whole lot of music like that. Artists I haven't talked about. Um, sure. Um, Let me think. Um, I guess if any of you guys are into electronic music, I mean one of my favorite bands like throughout my whole life has been Skinny Puppy. Um, they're probably one of the most well-known industrial bands. Um, and pretty much everything from the very beginning of their career to the album Last Rites is, I think, some of the best music ever made. Um, White Seed, I actually don't dig stuff from the record label Cranky. And part of the reason why is because that band Deer Hunter used my band name and for one of their EP releases and with the exact spelling. And the only reason I take issue with this is because I do think that they could have Googled the term before to see what popped up. But it basically made it so that all these idiots out there now think that I copied my musical moniker off of Deer Hunter, even though I've been using it since 1995. So I don't. I mean, maybe I just have some bad blood against Cranky, and it's not really their fault. It's more Deer Hunter's fault, and I think Deer Hunter sucks as a band. I think they're really bad. So yeah, it just kind of brings up negative feelings in me, to be honest. Um, Yeah, Suicide. Suicide's definitely a band. Alan Vega, um, amazing. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of other bands or musicians that I like. Why am I drawing such a blank right now? Oh yeah, another one I really like is in terms of a band, I really like Goblin. Goblin is an Italian rock band, prog rock band that did the soundtrack for Dawn of the Dead. They did the soundtrack for a lot of Dario Argento movies. But their sort of compilations of all their horror movie soundtracks is amazing. Um, if you like Goblin, if you like prog, a particularly cheesy prog rock band that I like a lot that doesn't, I don't think gets enough praise is the band Gentle Giant, which they may come off as very cheeseball to some people, but at the same time, I think they're actually one of the most technically proficient, most technically advanced rock bands that existed in the 70s. Um, John's dropping his own favorites. Um, I liked Primus a lot back in the day. Everything up until um, what's the album? Tales from the Punch Bowl. From Suck on This to Tales from the Punch Bowl is some of the best shit ever. I mean, I really like it, especially early Primus, Frizzle Fry and Suck on This. The fact that Suck on This, their first record, was a live album and sounds amazing, like it was recorded in the studio, is very impressive. Um, South of the Border Smoker. I don't know Camel actually. I should check them out. Pork Soda, South of the Border Smoker, was for some reason Primus's most famous album, but in some ways it was also their most abstract. Like there's a lot of weird, really weird tracks on there that are not very Primacy in the traditional sense. If you really want to get a feel for Primus, I would suggest Frizzle Fry or Suck on This. To me, those really define their sound. Um, hey Trish, how's it going? Because of Mr. Crinkle. Not because of Mr. Crinkle, because of like several songs on that album, honestly. Um, I mean, even the hit single, My Name is Mud, the fact that that was like their most famous song is really odd to me because that song is like really dissonant. It doesn't really have much of a melody. It's a strange thing that that was their hit. Winona Has a Big Brown Beaver makes much more sense as being like one of their hits, I think. And Jerry Was a Race Car Driver, which is an amazing fucking song. I mean, Jerry Was a Race Car Driver. Great era of Primus. Trying to think of some other bands I like before I leave here, because I know I realize I'm running out of time now. God damn. If you like electronic music, I mean, obviously check out Autechre. Probably one of the most unique, unpredictable bands in the electronic music scene right now. Ned, no, I didn't see Abby's interview with Thaddeus Russell, but I heard that that there were some moments of it where things got a little testy between the two of them. I haven't watched it. Um, from what I understand, I think Thaddeus wanted Abby to be a representative of socialism instead of sort of the other things that she does, like on Empire Files, and that's not what she was expecting. But but yeah, I mean, I need to watch it actually, so I'm gonna check it out, um, probably later tonight. Um, and apparently he said he would come on. Well, not apparently. He did. He told me he would come on MAME Politics. So that'll be weird, and fun to have him doing MAME Politics with me. He's a very intense guy. Um, so let's see if we can. What the hell that'll be like. Yes, Bayonets. She was on his show. The little doggy's having a bad dream. Can you hear her? Can you guys hear that? Um, yeah, Barbara's having a bad dream. I always wonder what animals dream about. I mean, I know that sounds like a childish thing to wonder about, but it's like one of the things I'm most fascinated about is what kind of dreams do animals have? Are they just being like chased in dreams? Like, what are they doing? There's a really actually disturbing experiment that was done, I think, in the 60s, and there's video footage of this that you can watch, where they did experiments on animals, cats specifically, where they severed a something in their brain that cause, so when you go to sleep, you guys have probably heard of sleep paralysis. Um, when a human being goes to sleep, when any animal goes to sleep, typically most animals, their body becomes paralyzed while they are asleep. Otherwise, they would basically sleepwalk. Their body would act out, your body would act out your movements in the dream if your brain did not deliberately shut off part of your body. So what scientists did was they actually figured out a way to sever this connection between the body and brain that tells it to shut down during REM sleep. And it's crazy. Basically, these cats are dreaming, they're asleep, but they're running around, jumping, and they're doing things like, looking like they're chasing imaginary mouses the whole time, like mice. That's what cats do when they dream, apparently, according to this study done. So yeah, it's pretty weird. Adam G says they dream about biting Pete Buttigieg. Adam, as a gay man, what do you think about Pete Poot, Pete Buttigieg and his gay credentials? Um, just in a general sense, I'm just tossing that to you. Generally speaking, I mean, does it mean anything to you? Like, I mean, because on some level, if I was black, if I was African American, I probably, even if I had the same politics that I had, I probably would have been like felt some excitement of the first black president being elected. Um, but I mean, I know it's probably not nearly the same thing for you. I'm just wondering if any of that factors in. Like if there's anything where even a part of you is like, oh, that's exciting that an out gay man, can actually rise this high in the primary election. I mean, regardless of his terrible politics. Yes, he is gay, John. I mean, that's really one of the only noteworthy things about him in terms of his like cred, his like, I don't know. Adam G says it's honestly infuriating. LMAO. And no, it's not exciting. I wish he would Freaky Friday with Rush Limbaugh. That's good. I'm going to try to play a little bit more of this game for you guys. I'm getting my absolute ass destroyed. So I forgot to tell you guys also, I bought something called the tap draw system, which is supposed to be really similar to a Pandora's box. But it has, oh wow, weird. Oh, this is the real boss. Obviously that was a fake boss. Oh my god, it's like a bullet hell boss too, I think. Holy shit, he is. Oh my god, I saw this in the demo. This is pretty cool. Oh wow, okay. It wasn't too hard. Yeah, diagonal attacks, right? I mean, this game has kind of like, it almost plays like a better version of Contra Arcade. Like if Contra Arcade played more like this, but was still Contra, oh, holy shit. It was a system called TAPDRA, and it runs off a Raspberry Pi 4. I'll show it to you. This is what I bought this on Amazon last week. Finally came today. It looks kind of like a knockoff of a Pandora's box, but it's not. There's very little information about it online. And yeah, I plugged it in. It's got a 5-volt DC adapter plug-in, on and off switch. I was about to do an episode for you guys today where we're just like pick any game, because apparently it's got 18,000 games on it, and the goddamn thing didn't turn on. So yeah, that was a really big bummer. So that's part of why this episode is so short today. But I hope you guys still enjoyed this brief episode of MAME Politics, episode 26. Yeah, it's supposed to be an improvement. It is. Peter H. That's way too generous of you, man. And happy birthday. Happy birthday tomorrow. If you want to celebrate part of your birthday with the MAME Politics, I'll sing you happy birthday directly to you on the stream, and it'll be very awkward and weird for me to do. So if you want to experience that, come and join me tomorrow on MAME Politics. Well, actually, Lori and I will sing you a happy birthday because she's going to be joining me for 2-player MAME Politics tomorrow. We're going to be playing obscure and cool Capcom fighters like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is a very interesting Capcom fighter. And yeah, if you want to get access to all of the hidden or locked episodes of MAME Politics after they are done streaming, because you can watch them all streaming for free, you can become a Patreon subscriber of mine to access those at patreon.com/Robbie Martin. And yeah, about to go live with Jason Burmis. So take care, everybody.